circles that have appeared in the fields around here. And go and camp on the hill here and lie in wait in the summer and see if they can see a crop circle, catch a crop circle in the act of forming.
Did that ever happen? Did anybody ever catch one forming?
No. No. There were some attempts and there were some spoons and a lot of fakery, but to my knowledge no one's actually got any video or any, possibly some eyewitness accounts.
What is your theory about how they are formed? What is the prevailing belief?
I don't know. The only thing I can think, I've been to a few, there's more on the ground when you get there than there is in the pictures.
Yeah.
There's a lot more information, like the position of the landscape is often very interesting, like the alignment sometimes between the crop circle and the hills or with particular Neolithic sites. But sometimes, I've been to crop circles sometimes and it's just I've been to some pretty shabby crop circles.
Yeah.
That,
possibly the ones that were faked.
Right. Then you get to the question of, well, what's fake and what's real here?
Yeah.
Right? And what's a fake of a fake? And is the reality to some of the fakes? Some of the good, I make a distinction between the good crop circles that are geometrically really interesting. They've got some sacred geometry. They often have some kind of relationship with the landscape. And so the good ones, sometimes you get there and it's just amazing how precise the crop has fallen over.
Yeah.
The lines and the curves can be absolutely perfect.
That's one of the things I noted about the crop circle phenomena.
Yeah.
Some of them that are hard to explain as fakes are just so precisely cut or cropped.
But I'd go on to say though that I have been in some which are really shabby.
Yeah.
But there's an energy about them which just I've actually had the experience of stepping into the circle of a crop circle and immediately like feeling an electric current through me.
Yeah.
Or feeling an intensification of my awareness.
That's interesting.
Right.
You should put it that way, because that was my next question. What about the theory that somehow the electromagnetic energy in the Earth is coming to such a peak the moment before the crop circle happens? Right. That energy is being broadcast out from the Earth to create the sacred geometry, this very specific and unique pattern that doesn't look like it could have been created by a human with a matting down instrument. It almost appears like it has to be created by some supernatural force.
Right. Yeah, I thought about that, the idea of the
quail or pheasants.
We'll see. There are buzzards around here and kites.
Yeah, I saw a kite go overhead. We don't phenomenon.
There is, it's in a documentary from the 1990s. I can't remember what it's called, but it does seem to have some merit. But not in all crop circles. This is the thing, and you can't tell by looking. I was going to say some of the really great geometric, great energetic crop circles are shabby.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas some of the very perfect crop circles, amazing patterns, you go there. I haven't felt anything, or I've noticed obvious signs of human ingenuity.
Yeah.
Like one crop circle I went to, it was a bit. When it got down to it, I thought, wow, it's really quite something at ground level. And I got to the centre of the circle and poked around in the centre of the circle. And there's a post hole in the middle of the circle
for an alignment.
Yeah. So we'll put a post in and then a rope on the post to give you a circumference of the circle.
Yeah.
So there's dead giveaways like that in some places. The circumstances in which some of them appear, they do seem to appear overnight.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, just instantly appearing.
Yeah.
I think there's several things going on with the crop circles though, and some of it is nonsense, some of it is people faking them, but I don't think they can all be explained like that. Yeah. But there are a few things that just need explaining. One is why this area. I mean, there have been crop circles reported all over around the world, but even so, the majority have been in this area, in Wiltshire, Hampshire, Dorset, historically. They're always in cereal crops, so it's always in oats, wheat, barley, rye, sometimes in canola. But they don't appear in grassland, they don't appear in pasture.
Interesting.
They don't appear in mixed farm areas, they don't appear in onion fields. Whatever,
What's your theory about that? Just cereal crops?
Right. So the crops we're talking about are monocrop, right? So all the seeds are planted at the same time, they're all the same genotype, they're all going to produce the same identical homogeneous crop. And I think it's the homogeneity of the crop that facilitates the patterns being created in the crop. So then there's the question of, could we create a different type of medium, like the AstroTurf equivalent of a cornfield or a wheat field, right? And then leave it out as an experiment and see if a circle appears in it, or is it necessary that it's something to do with the fact that this crop is a living thing?
It's organic.
Yeah. Well, that it's alive.
Yeah.
And the life force is somehow responding to something. So there's two questions: is like why here? Why in these particular counties? Why see all the fields are ploughed now?
Yeah.
But this is all wheat and cereal crops.
Well, I've already explained why there was a few fields with electrocharged iron particles in it. My theory, again, getting back to the electromagnetic fields that are somehow facilitating these crop circles, or at least charging them. Yeah, they're on the ley lines, and they also are in alignment with electromagnetic fields.
Right.
And so if the earth underneath these crops has a high concentration of iron in that soil, and all of a sudden the earth gets this zap charge of electromagnetic energy that's pulsed, then that iron content is going to come up right straight up. This is Silbury Hill.
Yeah, this is the man-made land. I'll pull over at the label.
Okay. Is this considered a barrow?
No, it's not a burial.
Okay, so this is the one they didn't find anything in it when they excavated.
Yeah.
Do you have enough place to park here? There you go. Oh, that's much better. Okay, folks, so here's Silbury Hill. We saw it on the map when we were at the restaurant, and it's a man-made mound Can you tell us a little bit more about this one, Alex?
Yeah, so it's either earlier or contemporary with Avebury, but it was built in stages, and some of it may have been built earlier, some of it built later. But we're talking about 4,500 years ago to 5,000 years ago.
So during the Neolithic period.
Yeah, yeah. You can see it's got a bit of step terracing near the top.
Oh yes, I do see that. Yeah.
Some people have argued that it was once completely terraced, and that it was actually a kind of circular step pyramid, and that it may have been used for ritual purposes. It's got some fancy geometric alignments. I can't remember what they are, but it does relate somehow to Giza. Why it's in that spot particularly, I mean, of the geometric relationships of things, maybe because it's at the headwaters of the river Kennet, which would have been one of the main transport navigation routes through this part of the country.
I recall hearing that correlation between this mound and the Pyramid of Giza in one of the documentaries that we viewed before coming to the UK. I don't remember the specific explanation as to why they're both in alignment or how they're in alignment, but I do remember that reference.
Yeah. So it's built of concentric layers, going outwards. Some are rocky layers, some are clay layers. It's been excavated, but they didn't find anything in the middle. It appears to be just a solid mass, and there's nothing buried in the centre.
And this is the mound where some of the excavation tunnels have since collapsed?
Yeah. Yeah, so there's been some erosion. It's actually fenced off, and you can see the people have worn a path up the face of it.
I was just going to ask about that. Is that a path or erosion from water?
No, it is a path. It is a path.
And it's virtually straight up. You've got to be like fit as a fiddle to get up there.
No, it isn't actually. You can see the slope is just like we can see on the right.
Okay.
It's that kind of angle all the way around.
But pretty steep.
Yeah, maybe.
For me, for a guy like me, that's pretty steep.
Yeah, it's all fenced off now.
So no one could go up it.
Used to be able to go up the top. I went up the top about 30 years ago.
30?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's just a flat area on the top.
Wow.
So what was it for? It's a bit of a mystery. It is one of 3 mounds, though, that were all built roughly the same period, and the other 2, one is in the grounds of Marlborough College, which is a famous private school about 50 miles east of here. It's not as big, and it's actually been converted in Victorian times, I think it was. They built a spiral pathway around it, and it's used as a ceremonial thing for graduation in the college now. And then the 3rd mound is what Windsor Castle is built on. And the history books say that mound at Windsor was built by the Normans when they built the castle. But I think the weight of evidence now is that mound was there for thousands of years beforehand, and the existence of that mound at Windsor, the sister of this mound, is exactly why they built Windsor Castle, where they built it, to sort of symbolically take control of the old mound, which was the